Joined now by President John L. Lahey. President Lahey, thank you for joining me.
Great, thanks for having me, Joel.
So we're about a half an hour away from the State of the QUnion address, and from an administrator's perspective, how impactful is it to see students hosting events in the piazza like this?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I remember when this was designed and then ultimately built, and to see it come alive as it is. We probably have more technology right now between this interview and what's going to take place downstairs. And no, it's great that the students at Quinnipiac contribute so much, and we provide them, I think, with tremendous leadership opportunities and experience, not only in the classroom but outside the classroom. So yeah, it's very gratifying to see the students so active and involved in this complex.
Students active and students involved. How have you seen the student leader population grow over the years here at Quinnipiac?
Well, you know, the sheer size of Quinnipiac alone. I mean, we had a student body president back 31 years ago, but now the growth of the student body and the number of different organizations that all have presidents and the representation, it's certainly a far more active and engaged student body. And I think, you know, this generation is a very active, very animated group that's involved, and particularly with social media and technology, that they're so far advanced from earlier generations and those of my age that I think there's a confidence about communications and leadership and involvement that I find really refreshing with young people today.
So at the State of the QUnion tonight, students were able to submit their questions to the Student Government Association before the event. What do you think, from your perspective, will be the most popular topic discussed tonight?
Well, that's a good question. I really don't know. You know, I like coming to that event because I learn from the students. When you hear the questions they have, sometimes they're frankly a surprise. I mean, we just had our last cabinet meeting this past Monday, and I know we talked about two topics that may come up. I don't know. One has to do with the powder outages that we had on the campus here in the last couple of months, more than we've had, frankly, in the last 10 years combined. So we talked about that at the cabinet, what the issues were there, and what we need to do. We also talked about security in the classrooms, and this reflects really nothing going on here, but what's going on, unfortunately, in schools and in Florida and elsewhere. And so we discussed the possibility of having buttons of some kind, extra security, so the interior of classrooms can be locked when notification is on that some problem is there. So those are two issues that at least we discussed. But you know, I don't know what the students will ask, but I think it's great that we have this event every year, so that we do hear directly from the students, and so we can, you know, directly address their concerns.
Well, President Lahey, thank you so much for your time.
Great, thanks for having me.